Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Kumalasariㅣ. I'm from 6th semester. In this video, I would like to tell you about the short story with title After 20 Years by O. Henry. This short story was one of the material from the courses Prose. That taught by Miss Indah Windra Dwi Agustiani S.Pd M.Pd and Miss Andrea Mela Elfarisha S.Pd M.Pd. Plot summary. The story began with a cop walking around the deserted streets of New York in the evening, doing his duty, and checking the locks of every establishment and business that he passed by. He finds a man standing in the doorway of a hardware store. The man has an unlit cigar in his hand. On inquiring, he tells the cop that he is waiting for an old friend who he had promised to meet at the very place 20 years ago before going west. He tells the cop that he is waiting for Jimmy Wells, his old friend, almost like a brother with whom he had spent the golden years of his childhood. While talking to the cop, the man lights his cigar, and in that brief illumination, the cop notices that the man has a pale face, a scar near his right eyebrow, and sharp eyes. The glint of a diamond on the man's scarf tells a lot about his riches, and when he pulls out his diamond-studded watch to check the time, the cop comments that he must have done really well in the West. The man boasts that he has and wishes that his flooded friend has done at least half of what he has achieved. He is sure that his friend will definitely meet him as promised, no matter what, for his friend is the trust stances of chap in the world. The cop goes on his way. The rain starts to fall and the man keeps waiting. After a few minutes, a man arrives and introduces himself as Jimmy. Bob is happy to find his friend, and both men share pleasantries. Bob notices that Jimmy has changed. In fact, was taller than he remembered. Jimmy says that he grew a bit after 20. Jimmy insists that since the old restaurant where they had their last meal together 20 years ago is not there anymore, they should go to some other place. As they pass the street light, Bob looks at his friend's face and says that though 20 years can change a man in many ways, it rarely changes the shape of a man's nose. He asks if he is Jimmy. The other man says that he is not and that Bob has been under arrest for the past 10 minutes. He tells him to come with him quietly and hands him a letter which says, "Bob, I was at the place on time. I saw the face of the man wanted by Chicago cops. I didn't want to arrest you myself, so I went and got another cop and sent him to do the job, Jimmy." The intrinsic element of Prose. Character. Bob. He is the first appears in this story. Bob seems to have sinister presence. The plainclothes officer, he is not given a name in this story, is sent to trick the criminal known by the Chicago police as Silky Bob by pretending that he is Jimmy Wells, the policeman aka Jimmy Wells. His identity was kept secret from Bob and readers. Themes: friends, loyalty, trust. Setting: after 20 years, takes place on a street in New York City around the turn of the 20th century at the evening. Conflict. The predominant conflict in After 20 Years is an internal one that is not apparent to the reader until the surprise ending of the story. This internal conflict arises between friendship and duty within the character of Jimmy Walsh, man versus self. Plot analysis. Introduction. The setting of the dark street in New York is introduced and the characters of Bob and Jimmy are described. Rising action. Bob sees the policeman walking up the street, explains his situation, then the policeman walks away. Next, a tall man walks up to Bob, tells that he is Jimmy. This man and Bob walk down the road and Bob sees the man in front of the bright light of a drugstore. Climax. Bob realizes the man is not Jimmy. Falling action. The man tells Bob he is under arrest and hands him a note. Resolution. Bob reads the note and realizes that the policeman he spoke to earlier was in fact his old friend Jimmy. Moral message. The moral message of this story are: first, we should perform our duty with full honesty and sincerely. Second, people change and grow apart. Third, doing the right thing must take precedence over everything else. And the last, keep your friendship as long as you can. I think that's all about this story. Thank you for watching. I apologize if I have a mistake. Last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
그녀가 떠나가요. 나는 아무것도 할 수 없어요. 사랑이 떠나가요. 나는 바보처럼 멍하니 서 있네요. 멀어지는 그 뒷모습